With the darkroom, that's like always my end goal. I don't really think what I'm doing is courageous though. I'm just taking pictures. You gotta keep a positive mentality doing this a lot of times because there's plenty of days where I go home somewhat defeated where I'm just like, damn, today sucked.
Whoa, we're back with another episode of Walkie Talkie.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Sean.
It's a little windy out here, but what's up, guys? My name is Sean Cirillo. I'm a street photographer from Long Island, South Shore, Oceanside, if anyone knows the area, and gonna be shooting some street today.
Okay, let's talk gear for a little bit. What are you shooting today?
Another guy with a Leica.
Another guy
with a 28.
I'm so sorry, everybody.
Yeah, I tried to shoot something else recently, and I just came right back to this.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. You had a Nikon for a little bit.
Yeah, tried a Nikon for a little bit. I got good shots with it, but I'm much more comfortable with this. It's small, it's unobtrusive, you know.
It's quiet.
It's simple, it's quiet, yeah. All the cliche answers.
Speaking of cliche answers, where are we right now?
Herald Square. Where else? There's two other places we would be, here or Bryant Park. Yeah. Or 34th and 7th by Penn.
We're out here shooting Midtown. Let's get to work, let's take some pictures, and let's walk and talk.
Let's get it.
There's a guy.
Woo, there's our boy right there. Woo! Woo! You know, just one of the locals.
Sean, how long you been shooting this shit?
So, I started like shooting this style of street photography January of 2020. So like, couldn't have been worse timing.
Do you feel like you missed out on like shooting pre-pandemic New York? Like, how do you feel about that?
I definitely do. I guess it's nice that I didn't have like a year of shooting pre-pandemic New York and then it happened, because, you know, I have that like continuity where it's been pandemic, like all my work is pandemic or post-pandemic. So it kind of has like a nice progression to it where I didn't get to make any serious work previously to that. So I guess in that sense, I'm kind of happy it happened. Well, I'm not happy the pandemic happened, but just my personal timing. Because I was shooting before that, but not really like this style. I was shooting buildings, a lot of rooftop stuff. Yeah, just not the traditional down on the street, close up, wide angle street photography.
Film though, right? Has your medium of photography always been kind of like analog and film stuff?
Since like, I think it was 2018, I had a Nikon DSLR, and I found out that all the lenses I had worked with f100. I had all like Nikon G lenses, and they were super cheap. And when I was reading about it, people were like, "Oh, this is one of the best film cameras ever made." Blah blah blah. So I was like, "All right, $200. If I don't like it, I'll just flip it on eBay." And I got it. I shot a few rolls, and actually the first roll I shot was slide film. My brother just gave me a roll, and I tried to bring it to the lab, and they're like, "Oh, we can't develop this." Film was pretty cheap back then, which was nice. It let me experiment a lot. Gear was a lot cheaper, so I was able to play around with all sorts of different stuff. Yeah, that was cool. Early on in the pandemic too, I was doing a lot of experimenting, which I wish I found my lane a little bit more before then. For the last few years, it's been much more, since I guess the beginning of 2021, much more consistent. I got a Leica for my 30th birthday. That was my 30th birthday gift to myself. So,
wow, putting your age out there.
Yeah, old man.
Oh, putting your age out. Do you feel like that's helped having the consistency, or do you feel like?
Yeah, I definitely like having consistency. I like trying not to switch. Like we were just saying, the Nikon stuff. I liked using it, but it threw me off my rhythm a little bit. I was shooting a 28 still too, so it wasn't that much different, but I try to stay same film, same camera, same lens.
But do you feel like the experimentation early on led to the consistency now?
Yeah, it definitely allowed me to find exactly what I like, the style I like, the lenses and the camera bodies that work for me. So it was good. I just kind of wish it wasn't at such an important, I wish it happened like slightly before that period. Speaking of gear, to me, in the winter, one of the most important pieces of photography gear, street photography gear, chapstick.
Chapstick.
Can't be scaring away the subjects with crusty lips.
Was this your first winter you basically shot the whole way through?
No, I shot the same way last year, just because my job is very conducive to street photography, which is nice. It gives me tons of time. It pushes me past those lazy days where I'd be sitting at home and saying, do I really feel like going out today? Oh, it's cold, it's raining. Any myriad of excuses I could come up with to not have to go out on a day. It doesn't allow me to have that because no matter what, I have to come out here. and walk around, be all over the city. So it's really nice. That's kind of how I got started in the first place. Just going from site to site for work, getting really good views on rooftops. And that's what forced me to bring a camera out with me. I would also say you just have to shoot all the seasons, all the weather, if you want like a complete body of work of street photography. You can't just go out when it's 75 sunny, perfect weather in spring and just have a billion pictures of crisp, clear blue skies. You know, that's only one little fraction of New York City. If you want to build something that encapsulates all this, you have to be out at all times. Or not at all times, but in all different conditions. In all different conditions, in all different seasons, in all different areas. You just got to shoot a lot, which is tough now because fucking $15 a roll film prices.
You always go digital.
For me, it would be black and white first. Then I don't even know. Then digital. There's a gap somewhere in there. It's just for me. I just don't find it enjoyable. That's the biggest thing. Like, I want to be enjoying myself. I want to enjoy the camera I'm using. I just want to have fun.
You also dip into like the final part of analog photography, which is printing, right? I feel like a lot of people don't get into like darkroom printing and stuff.
Yeah, I guess I'm at the point of diminishing returns or like sunk cost fallacy. I'm just so deep in that I just refuse to, I just eat every price increase at this point and just accept it because I'm printing. I have the darkroom set up. Like, I can't make that go to waste. Speaking of the darkroom too, that's one thing I really like about film because it gives me that end goal of the physical. Obviously, you could print with an inkjet printer, you could print digital photos, but with the darkroom, that's like always my end goal. It helps me pick out photos I consider keepers. It just helps me cull photos because there's a lot of stuff that I would say, oh, that's like good. That's a good photo. I like it. It's in focus. The exposure's right, and the subject's semi-interesting. But if I don't want to print it, that's how I know, like, all right, that's not. I don't consider that like a great photo or a keeper or portfolio shot or whatever phrase you want to use for that.
So what are you doing with all your darkroom prints now?
Right now, I have just been. I'm trying to make like a small homemade book. It's kind of harder than I expected. It's hard to get the right paper sizes. I want to just make like a little 8x10 landscape book. All my prints I've been printing for now have been 5x7s, just because that's how I see the print size in like a book. Most books I see and what I would want to produce, prints are around that size. They're given away to some people, but for me, I have a stack of them. I flip through. I just started doing contact sheets too, which is really nice. My goal this year is to make a contact sheet for every roll I shoot, just because I find myself a lot of times sitting on my computer, going into my little archive folder, just flipping through rolls, seeing what I shot. Because a lot of times I won't originally like a picture, it won't be that interesting, and then I'll go back and under new eyes I might find something that I overlooked previously. So I want to have contact sheets where if I'm just sitting on my couch, I can flip through them, I can see, oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that picture. And it's nice just the more I stay away from a computer screen, the better.
So how soon after getting into film photography did you decide to get into darkroom printing?
I forgot when, I think it was late 2020 I bought all my darkroom stuff. And then it probably took another few months to get it set up where I could start printing. But I had that intention there. I felt like if I ever wanted to sell something, I want me to be in control of everything. I want to be able to see everything before it goes out and have something made with my hands. I don't want to have it feel like this is just some cheap way for me to, put a few bucks in my pocket. I want someone to actually appreciate the handmade nature of it.
What were some like unforeseen obstacles that you weren't expecting when it came to putting together your darkroom? Because I feel like a lot of people watching might be thinking about it or planning it.
I would say if you're interested in setting one up, check Craigslist. Craigslist is still an incredible place to find all this stuff because a lot of the people that have darkrooms and want to get rid of them are old, super old, and they don't have a good grasp of a lot of internet marketplaces. They're either on Craigslist or Facebook. That's where you'll find all the best deals on everything. I got my enlarger, all my trays, easel, tongs, random chemicals, paper, just tons of shit.
So you would say like just
Yeah,
getting everything together was an obstacle?
I think for most people, the space is probably going to be the obstacle. Having a space that makes working easy. I know a lot of people use a bathroom. That's like a good stand-in. There's like some Kodak technical documents on how to set up your bathroom the best way. I would also say that there's so many good technical documents from Kodak about every processing they did. All the paper, mixing all the chemicals, setting up your darkroom, they did everything. And it's all still online in just like a PDF you could Google.
Sean, you watch a lot of YouTube photography related channels?
I do. I definitely do.
Who's your
For better or for worse?
Not counting this channel because you're on it, you're biased.
So who's my second favorite?
Who's your favorite street photography YouTube channel?
Ooh, that's actually a really good question. I like the Frame Lines channel. I like a lot of their videos.
What do you like about their channel?
They have a lot of varied topics. They're not too gear centric. They do gear videos, but they also like to talk a lot about like specific photographers. Not necessarily like tip videos, but they do have good videos in that realm where they talk about their process, their thought process of what makes them shoot something, what makes them go out and shoot. They do a lot of stuff where they try to, for lack of a better word, build a community. They show off other photographers, which I always like to see. That's really it. A lot of stuff, I hate to say it, I kind of just mindlessly watch. Look down at the last second.
What about favorite, just like general, like film photography?
I like Brian Burke's channel a lot. I just bought a 4x5, so that's helping out there. I have a project in mind for that, but I'm still working out, just getting comfortable with the camera before I do anything with it. The classic, still watch a lot of Willem's videos whenever he drops a video. Kyle McDougall's really good too. He's very process-oriented, gives really in-depth explanations on why he's doing things, what makes good photo for him, projects he's pursuing.
Okay.
Who else?
Least favorite YouTube channel?
Oh, shit.
All right. Not least favorite. You don't have to call anybody out specifically, but pet peeves when it comes to YouTube photography or YouTube street photography.
Just cheap 5 tips, yada yada videos. I really can't stand those. Bad POVs where it's basically like a one take. They're not doing any sort of post-production to make it interesting. That's another thing, bad sound. That really bothers me too. I think the cheap videos really bother me the most. Like, it's just always regurgitated, it's always the same thing. And this isn't really, again, aimed at any specific stuff, but in general, when I see tip videos, there's a huge portion of those type of videos where the person should be watching the video for tips and not being the one making the video for tips. I should also say making YouTube videos is hard. I can't do it. I don't do it. I'm too much of a pussy to put my face in front of the camera. So take my opinions with a grain of salt.
Have you noticed your photography getting better over the years?
Absolutely.
The past 3 years? What is something that like you've intentionally corrected successfully?
Getting closer. I feel like it's such a simple, it's an answer you hear all the time. But it does take a little bit of time just to take that extra step in, get up close, fill the frame. That's definitely one of the things I did. I wasn't doing well early on, and I look back on older shots and I'm just like, all right, it's cool, it's whatever. I'm way too far away though. I don't really like to use this word because I don't really think it is courageous, but I guess that's like the word people will use, just build up the courage. Yeah. I don't really think what I'm doing is courageous though. I'm just taking pictures. Once you get over that hump and realize 99.9% of the time nothing's going to happen to you, and then there's a small part of that small percent that's going to get upset, that will just, I don't know, they'll yell at you, they'll say something, whatever. You just keep
I
walking.
feel like when I first met you and saw you shooting on the street, you were shooting a lot, not looking through the viewfinder.
Yeah, I've tried to use the viewfinder more. I still shoot from the hip a good amount, but it probably went from, like 30-70 to now the flip the other way. I do look back though, and it is an easy way to get close and less chance of, I don't know, I guess someone noticing or someone getting upset about it. Obviously you lose a lot of control over the composition, but I'm gonna be honest, half the time when I look through the viewfinder, I'm doing very little composing also. I'm just making sure that the person that I'm taking a picture of is in the frame and is in focus. It's a lot more of letting things fall into place. But I guess my style has changed a little bit too, but nothing dramatic. I do find myself trying to not go back, but mix in some further distance shots, mix in some more context. You can't just get close on every single shot, and then you just have an entire body of work that's close-up shots of people in New York City.
Well, it's similar to what you were saying before with the winter, summer thing, but in a different aspect.
Which goes back to what I was saying too about, I feel like you got to do this for a long time in varied conditions. You got to let yourself explore some slightly different style changes, just ebb and flow into different ways of shooting. And when you're done and you put all that together, you'll have varied and interesting photos where you can make something out of that that'll be interesting, and it won't just be 100 photos of someone's face from 3 feet away. It is bright. Here we go. No brim again.
What are 3 things that have inspired you or influenced you recently?
I think my number one photographic inspiration would be Joel Sternfeld. I just got Stranger Passing. It's a really good book. I'd like to I don't want to say do something similar, but the project I have in mind for the large format camera I got is kind of similar to that. So it's been nice to see that, flip through that book. Subway is always another. That's always out for me. I love that book. It's not really inspiration, because it's a bunch of photographers compiled, but Contact High I just got finally. And I should have bought in that book so long ago, but I just kept telling myself that it'll always be there in Barnes & Noble and I should buy limited run books first. But I eventually got around to buying it, and it's just really nice to see contact sheets of photographers who are considered greats, because you can see mistakes. You could see stuff that they tried out that maybe wasn't good. It brings these people that you put on another level down to a human level, where you could say okay, they're making mistakes too. They're experimenting and it doesn't always work, and they're doing things that they think might work, and it doesn't make the cut in the end, but they're still a great photographer, and that shot is still incredible even though there's 10 other shots behind it that weren't good. It's not like they're out here just cranking out these incredible pictures over and over and over and over again.
It doesn't have to be photography related. It could be anything.
I was thinking about that yesterday. I'm like, who for me would I even consider a non-photographic inspiration? I guess seeing how the sausage is made, it's pretty boring. A lot of nothing.
Do you prefer hunting or fishing?
I'm a restless person, so I do like to walk around a lot. There's certain corners I like to hang out on. I'll do a couple light changes here. 42nd. Half the time I'm chilling on 42nd though is with you guys, just bullshitting when I've shot enough that day or just feel like taking a break. So if I had to choose one or the other, I would say hunting. But yeah, a lot of this is just boring, sitting around, not getting pictures. Inspiration-wise, it's not a photographer or even really a person. I love history. I really love history. I love the history of New York, and looking through old photos of the city, looking through, I listen to a history podcast all the time, the Bowery Boys. If you're into New York City history, great podcast. Just flipping through that makes me want to contribute to that, document how the city was, how I see it, how it is in this time, because it's constantly changing. Everywhere you look, Times Square. They just stripped this entire building. All these open lots are eventually going to have buildings in them. Some of these buildings are going to be gone soon, replaced by bigger, taller buildings. It's just cool to contribute to that in a way. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself there, but that's what I like to think. Woo!
We shoot in this corner a lot, right, Sean?
I'd say probably
the most in the past 6 months.
Yeah, this is like one of the few good spots that even in the dead of winter, there's nice light.
What are some of the advantages and disadvantages of shooting in one spot, or being like taking a lot of photos in the same spot or location?
One thing that ends up happening a lot is the same background constantly, which I've been trying to push myself to go more places and shoot. But then when I go to those places, a lot of times I'm like, why the fuck am I here? I haven't taken a single picture in an hour, but that's part of the process. And just getting out to other places is good for your vision in general. And then when you come back here, it'll make this seem a little bit better. You need those lows to get the highs. But yeah, this is just a very consistent crossroads, busy corner, tons of people coming into the park. Light's really good, moderately interesting backgrounds at least. So yeah, we spend a lot of time here. Ankle's broken again.
How good does that have to be for you to chase a shot?
It'd have to be really good. I'm a lazy motherfucker. I guess I'm lazy. There's no other way to cut it. So I don't really, I'll try to speed walk, predict where they might go and try to intercept them. But I don't think I've ever run for a shot, to be honest. And I try not to get caught up in missed shots, because I have been there, but there'll always be something else. You can't get too wrapped up in missing something or not being out for a specific event, because there'll always be another time. Don't worry if you miss something, because nothing's worse than sitting up in bed at night when you want to go to sleep and you're like, oh, that fucking shot I missed. You got to keep a positive mentality doing this a lot of times, because there's plenty of days where I go home somewhat defeated, where I'm just like, damn, today fucking sucked. I took 5 pictures. I don't even remember what the 5 pictures were. Not a single one really will stand out to me. One thing I started to do, it's not in this bag because I took a smaller bag today, just travel light. But on my normal work bag, I have a little moleskin notebook, and on the train home every day, I try just to jot down my day. If there's any pictures that I remember that stood out, if there's anything I think I should try to do better next time, or sometimes you think back, you can't even remember what you did a week ago, so it's nice to write down, okay, I did this, I hit these neighborhoods this day, and yeah, see, that was kind of a good example. The first person I went to take a picture of was just staring down at their phone, which for me is something I immediately just don't bother taking the picture. And then there's something else moderately interesting behind them, so there'll always be something else. See, another person staring down on their phone.
That's another thing where 10 years from now, 15 years from now, you don't know where that's going to go.
That's true. Maybe people will be like, yo, iPhone 12, sick.
In 10 years, 20 years, looking down at your phone could be a relic of the past.
Yeah, when we have implants in our brain, right? When Mark Zuckerberg is personally jamming things into our brain to direct feed us ads. You close your eyelids and you just get fed an ad. I'm a sucker for a cowboy hat.
Sean, pick one. You can never take a photo ever again, or the Jets never win a game ever again.
Oh my God.
If you choose the Jets one, you'll never know of this choice. So it'll just be excruciating pain. You never have to just be like, oh, I won't watch because I know they'll lose.
I have to watch every loss now?
Like, yeah, like you don't know that they'll lose.
I have to go to MetLife Stadium in person and watch every loss.
Yeah,
oh man. I would probably take no photos again, and then I would teach myself how to draw or some shit. AI photography, I don't know. I would figure out like some sort of loophole.
That is a true Jets fan.
I can't. That would be like lifelong torture. It's already tough enough, and they only lose. You know.
I was gonna say, like, if you choose a photography thing, like everything basically stays the same.
I have found myself shooting a lot less lately. I still am out as much as I was before, but I find a lot of the things that I used to shoot or overshoot, I don't even bother with anymore because they don't interest me as much anymore, or it's pictures I have already. I know that's can be a bad mentality sometimes. I should probably just shoot stuff and think later, but I don't really want to waste film as much as I used to. And I think that comes with just being more experienced. A lot of the stuff that I would shoot, I wouldn't end up doing anything with, wouldn't be interesting, not something I would ever use again. So I've cut a significant amount of those type of pictures out.
Such as saying the price of film is starting to affect your decisions. That first part with film.
It is a little bit, but it's. I think it was just a simple way for me to at least cut the cost a little bit without really changing much. There's still a little bit of headroom for me. I think I could weather maybe another year or two of these price increases. I just look at it as it's something I like to do. It's something that makes me happy. I could afford to spend the money on that every year as long as I budget it out properly. I could afford to shoot the 100 to 120 rolls of film I shoot each year. Not even all that is street, but so yeah, if I factor in $20 per roll with processing, since I'm doing it myself, I could afford to shoot that. And people have hobbies that cost way more than this. So look at how much it costs to own a boat or some shit. Even like people who are into fashion and clothes, they probably spend significantly more money a year than that.
I feel like I know you're the type of person that has a lot of interests and hobbies.
Yeah.
What are some things that you've been into like lately outside of photography?
Building bikes. Speaking of bicycles, I bought a couple old 90s mountain bikes and built those up, like modernized them, I guess. What do they say? Resto mod, I guess you could say. I like to drink a lot of wine and beer. That's not really a good hobby, I guess.
That's
though.
the Long Island in you speaking.
I don't want to say one of them.
Oh,
way
shit.
too pretentious.
Kind of getting into the hobbies, I feel like you get into like online communities, right? Like Reddit, like you're into the subreddits,
in a couple Discords.
Shout out some Discord servers that you're a part of that you wanna that people should think about joining.
Leica Discord. Shout out to the Leica Discord. A lot of good people in there. You don't really have to have a Leica to be part of it either. One More Stop is the one that got me into Discord. I don't know if anyone remembers Restore from Backup. Remember that page? It was like one of those like curation pages. But they made a Discord and it like evolved way past that. So that one, those are like the two main photography ones I'm in. If you want to meet people and you can't meet them in person, those are great places to look. Share similar interests. You could ask questions, that maybe you can't find answers to online.
Back where we started.
Right back where we started. The circle of life. The circle of New York City street photography. I went for it. Just another day. This is where we usually close out, or at least for me, close out the day.
Yeah, because that's your exit to the city.
I go right down there, shoot until my train's about to leave, and then I run down and hop right on. I wanted him to, if he stops, I'm getting another, fuck. his hat. He was in the same unit as I was in the Army, so I tried to snag a picture of his hat.
Army boy.
Army boy, yeah. Wish I took more pictures then. That's definitely a picture of photography regret. Did not take enough pictures.
All right, that's gonna do it, Sean.
Had a pleasure. I'm walking in the footsteps of giants though, so there's a lot of other people on here.
You killed
Big
it.
shoes to fill.
I appreciate it. Appreciate you hanging out for the day. I mean, like we do usually.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, let the people know where they could show you some love.
Instagram, East Coast Emotion, and my website, which I haven't updated in a while, that hopefully by the time it comes out, this will motivate me to do. EastCoastEmotion.com. I do have darkroom prints for sale. There's no like official thing. You could hit me up and maybe we could work something out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Yeah, slide into those DMs. All right.
Now when they see us on the streets, now when they see us in the streets, all they want to do is take pics, and I'm like, okay.